Evelyn's stroke didn't come from burgers or fries. It came from the juice box her grandkids handed her. I watched the scan light up and knew exactly why. 3 sweet drinks are sneaking plaque into senior arteries, and there's a good chance one is in your fridge right now. Stay here, and you'll have the fix before breakfast is over. Evelyn's CT scan still glows in my mind. Those bright streaks were plaque, the kind that stops blood in its tracks. It didn't come from bacon or butter. It came from a pitcher that looked harmless on her kitchen counter. Here's the reality. After 60, artery walls lose some of their natural bounce. Tiny cracks appear, like hairline fractures in an old garden hose. Anything sticky in the bloodstream glues itself to those cracks, hardening into the gunk surgeons fight every night. That's why what you drink matters even more than what you chew. Quick gut check for you. When did you last sip a store-bought, all-natural juice? If the answer is this morning, tap subscribe right now so you never miss another senior-specific health alert. We're cutting through marketing fog and giving you the straight fix before breakfast is over. Let's start with the breakfast classic hiding in plain sight. The carton brags about vitamin C and sunshine, but inside is a liquid sugar rush. With the fiber stripped out, that sweet flood charges straight into your bloodstream. Your liver scrambles to park the overflow, turning it into fat droplets that float around looking for a home. The first place they stick? Those tiny cracks in aging arteries. I remember watching Evelyn's scan fill with dye. The flow slowed exactly where those droplets had hardened. She never felt a warning sign. That's the trap. Liquid calories feel light, so we drink tall glasses without blinking. 30 grams of sugar later, your insulin spikes, inflammation flares, and plaque begins its quiet build. Here's the uplifting part. You don't have to ditch flavor to protect your arteries. Swap that carton for a homemade blend of water, a squeeze of fresh orange, and a pinch of pulp. The flavor stays bright, but the sugar load drops by more than half, and the fiber slows absorption so your blood vessels get a break. Type SWAP in the comments if you're willing to give that mix a try. I'll be down there answering questions. Keep that glass nearby because the next drink we uncover wears a heart-healthy badge yet delivers an even bigger sugar ambush. It sits on most senior center snack carts and probably in your fridge right now. Stay with me, because once you know what's really inside, you won't look at that label the same way again. Picture the juice aisle on a Sunday morning. Tall glass bottles line the shelf, dressed in deep reds and purples, promising powerful antioxidants and clinically proven heart support. I used to feel safe recommending that bold-colored blend to recovering bypass patients until the lab reports told a different story. Those same antioxidants ride in on a river of concentrated fructose, far higher than the orange juice we just exposed, and that sugar wave is what sabotages senior arteries. Let me walk you into the operating room of Mr. Chen. 73, upbeat, no obvious vices. He swapped soda for heart-healthy juice because the label said cardiologists love it. But when we threaded a scope through his femoral artery, we found a traffic jam of plaque right where the dye should have flowed smooth. Why? Because each 8-ounce pour delivers almost zero fiber, almost half your daily added sugar limit, and a hidden blast of sorbitol that magnifies water retention inside vessel walls. Swelling means less room for blood to move, so pressure climbs, cracks widen, and the sticky cycle accelerates. Here's the uplifting twist. We don't need to throw flavor in the trash. We just need to fire the sugar chauffeur. Buy the same brand, but grab the unsweetened concentrate version. At home, mix 1 splash with chilled sparkling water, add a twist of lemon, and you've cut the sugar load by more than 60% while keeping the antioxidant hit your vessel walls crave. When you pour that first fizzing glass, snap a photo and tag me. I'll repost a few to show other seniors it's possible to upgrade taste and artery health in one move. By the way, if your fridge already holds a sweetened bottle, don't panic. Use it as a freezer pop base. Diluting and freezing locks the sugar in ice so you naturally eat it slower, cutting the insulin spike to a gentle curve. Drop a comment saying frozen fix if you're trying that today. I'll respond with my favorite ratio. Now keep that fizzing glass close because the final juice on our list is the Stealth Master. It pretends to be pure, carries a golden hue that screams sunshine wellness, and cruised into popularity on the promise of joint relief. Trouble is, its natural enzymes come packaged with a fructose punch so swift it can stiffen arteries within an hour of drinking. It's on almost every brunch buffet and in more than half the senior living meal plans I've audited. In 60 seconds, we'll break down how that sunny drink flips your cholesterol ratio upside down, and the two-ingredient switch that turns it from menace to medicine. Let's pull the curtain on the sunshine-colored imposter, pineapple juice. Marketers lean hard on its bromelain enzymes, calling it a natural anti-inflammatory for aching joints, but that tropical glow hides a fructose freight train. A single 12-ounce pour can outsugar a can of cola, and the hit arrives quicker because pineapple's natural acids speed absorption. I met that reality head-on with Gloria, 68, an avid walker who ditched soda years ago. She toasted every sunrise with chilled pineapple juice, believing it kept her knees loose. During a routine carotid ultrasound, we caught an echo dense enough to cast a shadow, fresh plaque, pressed against the arterial wall. Her LDL wasn't sky-high, so we traced the source. Those morning pours had delivered a daily fructose spike intense enough to trigger de novo lipogenesis in her liver. Translation: sugar rerouted into fat particles that stiffen vessels and tip cholesterol ratios the wrong way. Here's the biology in plain talk. Fructose skips the usual metabolic checkpoints and floods the liver. Enzymes scramble to process the surplus, spitting out triglycerides that float into the bloodstream. In seniors, where vessel walls already show wear, those fats wedge into microfissures, harden, and leave arteries less flexible than a garden hose in winter. Minutes after a tall glass, we can measure reduced endothelial function. The lining can't dilate on demand, so blood pressure nudges upward. Now for the uplifting pivot. You don't have to surrender the tropical kick. Slice fresh pineapple into bite-sized cubes, freeze them, then drop 3 into a mason jar of cold water. The fruit chills and flavors the drink while locking most sugars inside the fiber matrix. After 30 minutes, you're sipping a faintly sweet, enzyme-rich infusion that lands softly on insulin levels. Want a fizz? Top it with a splash of plain seltzer and a sprig of mint. The taste says beach resort. The chemistry says smooth arterial flow. If that sounds doable, type Sunny Swap below, and I'll reply with my favorite infusion add-ins. Some of you will ask about canned pineapple and juice. Read the label. Most cans bathe slices in heavy syrup or clarified juice concentrate, doubling the sugar punch. If the word syrup appears, leave it on the shelf. Go for fruit packed in its own water or light juice, rinse before freezing, and you dodge the fructose ambush. Gloria made the switch 6 weeks ago. Her follow-up flow-mediated dilation test improved by 8%, and her morning walks feel lighter. She still enjoys that bright pineapple zing, now without the arterial toll. Keep that mason jar close, because next we're stitching all 3 swaps into a single, senior-friendly daily routine that protects arteries around the clock and tastes better than any store-bought blend. In 90 seconds, I'll lay out the sip-by-sip schedule, plus the simple grocery list you can screenshot before your next trip. Let's weave those 3 juice swaps into a day that keeps arteries flexible from sunrise to lights out. Picture the moment you wake and head for the kitchen. Before coffee, fill that mason jar with chilled water and 3 frozen pineapple cubes. While the fruit releases its soft sweetness, add a squeeze of fresh orange and a pinch of pulp. Now the brew carries vitamin C, bromelain, and just a whisper of natural sugar, enough to wake taste buds without jolting insulin. Sip it slowly while sunlight creeps through the window. The fiber trapped in the pulp acts like tiny traffic officers, telling glucose to merge gently instead of stampeding your bloodstream. Your endothelium relaxes, releasing nitric oxide that widens vessels and primes them for the day's blood flow. Late morning, when habit once steered you toward that antioxidant bottle, pause a beat. Reach for the unsweetened concentrate we upgraded and pour a finger width into a tall glass of sparkling water. The fizz scratches the soda itch, but because the concentrate carries no added fructose, your liver stays calm, triglycerides stay low, and blood keeps gliding smoothly. Drop a spiral of lemon peel for a citrus aroma that tricks the brain into feeling fuller, so you're less likely to graze on sugary snacks before lunch. I tell patients to take this glass outside. Feel the air. Let the brain associate the new ritual with freedom instead of restriction. Within a week, the old craving fades like background noise. Mid-afternoon slump hits, and that's usually when seniors grab a store-bought smoothie or sweet tea. Instead, Blend half a cup of frozen berries, a spoon of plain Greek yogurt, and enough water to spin the blades. The yogurt's protein steadies blood sugar, while the berry skins add anthocyanins that patch microscopic vessel damage. Because you're using whole fruit, not stripped juice, the glycemic load stays friendly, and energy coasts rather than spikes. If the blender feels like a chore, shake the ingredients in a jar and let the fruit thaw for 10 minutes. It will still taste like a treat. Evening wind down is where we lock in overnight benefits. Warm a mug of water and stir in a teaspoon of raw cacao powder. The faint chocolate note satisfies dessert urges, and cacao's flavanols cue arteries to dilate, easing nighttime blood pressure. You've ended your day with a cozy ritual that actually massages vessel walls instead of stiffening them. Patients who adopt this sip-to-sleep routine often report deeper rest and lower morning readings within 2 weeks. That's the silent payoff. While you dream, your cardiovascular system gets a maintenance shift, clearing remnants of triglycerides before they settle as plaque. Gloria, Evelyn, and Mr. Chen now follow this flow. Their follow-ups show smoother carotid scans, and more important, they feel in control. Tomorrow morning, stand in front of your fridge and choose water with pineapple cubes over carton juice. Snap a photo, tag it, and let's build a feed full of seniors rewriting their health story one glass at a time. In 60 seconds, we'll open the grocery checklist so you can lock these swaps into your next shopping trip without guesswork. Slide a mental shopping basket in front of you and walk the aisles with me. The produce section comes first because color equals life for Arteries. Reach toward the citrus bin and choose 6 firm oranges with bright, pore-tight skin. That outer texture signals high vitamin C and low spoilage risk, perfect for your morning squeeze and pulp ritual. Just beside them sits the pineapple stack. Pick one that yields slightly to a thumb press near the base and smells sweet but not fermented. You will cube it, freeze it, and let each chunk melt flavor into water while trapping most sugars and fiber you can see. Turn the corner to the frozen aisle, the land of accidental sugar bombs hiding in smoothie blends. Ignore those pre-mixed bags and head straight for plain blueberries and raspberries sealed in frost. Check the ingredient list. It should name fruit and nothing else. The deep skins carry anthocyanins that patch vessel walls better than any supplement and keep afternoon energy climbing instead of crashing. Toss a tub of plain Greek yogurt into the cart for that protein buffer we talked about. Pick a brand whose label reads cultured milk and live cultures, nothing more. Next, glide to shelf-stable rows where the antioxidant concentrate hides. Scan glass bottles, not plastic, because tint protects flavonoids from light damage. Look for the word unsweetened in bold print. If the label lists juice from concentrate without added sweeteners, you are safe. Grab a small bottle because a splash is all you need for fizz and flavor. Right there on the lower shelf rests plain, sparkling water in cans. Skip the flavored versions that sneak in sweeteners under tricky names. Plain carbonation scrubs the palate and makes modest fruit notes feel festive. The baking aisle might seem unrelated, yet this is where raw cacao powder lives, usually on an upper rack near specialty flours. Choose a package labeled natural or non-alkalized. The darker hue means the flavanols remain intact. While you're here, pick up cinnamon sticks too. A half-inch swirl in warm cacao water adds aroma that reduces evening snack cravings by fooling the brain into thinking dessert happened. Finally, swing by the spice rack for fresh mint. Those bright leaves transform basic fruit water into spa-infused sips, adding a cool finish that signals refreshment to taste buds and limbic brain alike. If fresh bundles look wilted, choose a small dried mint jar and rehydrate a pinch between fingers before dropping it into drinks. Now imagine placing these items on your counter. Every piece has a job. Oranges for morning vascular wake-up, pineapple cubes for slow-release sweetness, berries and yogurt for midday repair, concentrate and sparkling water for heart-friendly fizz, cacao for nighttime dilation, mint for sensory lift, cinnamon for appetite control. No guesswork, no hidden sugar traps, just a simple map seniors can follow without a calculator or allergy to flavor. Before you leave the store, pull out your phone, snap a basket photo, and tag it with Sunny Swap Squad. Each post becomes proof that senior health can look vibrant, taste amazing, and feel empowering. Tomorrow, when you open the fridge, that rainbow of ingredients will greet you like a support team. Your arteries will feel the difference long before your next checkup, and your taste buds will never beg for the old syrupy cartons again. In 1 minute, we will zoom out and stitch these habits into a 60-second recap so sharp you could share it with a friend and transform their breakfast routine on the spot. Set a timer for 60 seconds and glide through the whole artery-saving routine with me. At 0630, the kitchen lights click on, water rushes over 3 frozen pineapple cubes, and a squeeze of orange lands in the jar. While the dog stretches, you sip sunlight that slips past insulin alarms. 10 minutes in, capillaries open like morning blinds and blood cruises without speed bumps. Fast forward to 10 a.m. The brain whispers soda, but your hand knows better. It reaches for unsweetened crimson concentrate, tips a splash into sparkling water, and watches ruby clouds swirl. 1 lemon twist, 1 deep inhale, and the carbonation tricks taste buds into thinking you've cheated. Instead, you've sidestepped a sugar ambush and fed vessels a fresh coat of antioxidant armor. Clock strikes 2:30. Energy dips. Eyelids droop. Blender lid pops. Frozen berries rattle. Yogurt plops. Water swirls. In 20 seconds, a purple vortex settles into a glass. The first sip is tangy, cool, protein smooth. Anthocyanins rush repair crews to microscopic vessel cracks while yogurt protein stretches glucose release like a slow-burning log. 30 minutes later, you're walking the mail to the box with springier calves than yesterday. Evening drapes the windows. Kettle whispers steam. Raw cacao powder dissolves into a velvet dust-colored drink. Cinnamon stick taps the mug's rim. Mint leaf floats like a canoe. The smell of campfire chocolate fills the room without the marshmallow crash. Inside, flavanols tell arteries to loosen their belts so nighttime blood pressure drifts lower, and triglycerides find no walls rough enough to cling to. That's the whole loop. 4 deliberate sips. 1 day. Arteries breathing easier. Notice what's missing. Labels screaming, heart healthy, while hiding syrup. Numbers on the back panel that barely fit in fine print. Afternoon regret after a plastic bottle drain. In this new script, flavor shows up wearing honesty, and your endothelium cheers like it just won a lottery of oxygen. Now imagine handing that loop to a friend in 1 sentence. Swap the carton for cubes, the soda for fizz, the slump for berries, the dessert for cacao. Their eyebrows rise because it sounds too easy, and that's the beauty. Complexity sells products, simplicity saves vessels. If you share that line today, tag me so I can amplify your ripple. Every share becomes a new senior who dodges a catheter, a stroke, or a bypass scar. Here's the tease to keep your curiosity humming. Tomorrow's alert detours from drinks to a single pantry staple that hardens arteries faster than these 3 juices combined. It hides in soups, cereals, and that favorite loaf you think is whole grain. Miss it, and you might keep spooning plaque into your bloodstream 1 cozy bowl at a time. But catch the reveal, and you'll lock another door against the silent thief of senior vitality. In 30 seconds, we'll shift gears to prep your taste buds for that discovery and show you how to spot the culprit's code name on any label before it slips past the checkout scanner. Stay right where you are. Your arteries are just starting to celebrate. Lean in for the pantry reveal because this one ingredient plays hide-and-seek better than any sugar-spiked juice. It sits on the middle shelf, looks innocuous in its beige disguise, and slips into soups, cereals, even that wholesome loaf you toast at sunrise. Lab sheets list it as a thickener, bakers praise it for chew, marketers stamp it with comforting words like hearty and natural. Inside your arteries, though, it morphs into a microscopic Velcro strip, snaring every rogue fat particle drifting by and welding them into stubborn plaque. I've watched ultrasound echoes turn from whisper thin to brick thick in patients who swore they ate clean, until we trace the culprit back to spoonfuls of this pantry powder. Picture yourself lifting a can, hearing the soft swoosh as the lid cracks. A puff of dust rises, harmless at first glance, fragrant like warm bread. But the chemistry is treacherous. Its starch chains break down faster than table sugar, rocketing glucose so high and so fast that insulin races to corral the surge. In seniors, that metabolic sprint leaves behind micro tears along vessel walls, the perfect landing strip for cholesterol shards. Overnight, what began as a cozy breakfast ritual becomes a construction crew building speed bumps in your bloodstream. Now imagine tomorrow's breakfast without it. Your spoon glides through a smoother, naturally thickens soup, and the label on your bread reads like a short story you actually understand. Endothelial cells sense the calm, breathe easier, and release a silent thank you in the form of extra nitric oxide. Blood pressure levels out. The heart doesn't have to kick harder just to push past artificial roadblocks. Here's your mission before the sun sets. Stock your own pantry, flip the packages you trust most, and hunt for the code names this ingredient hides behind. When you find it, because odds are high you will, snap a photo, draw a bold circle around the word, and tag it with Pantry Trap. Tomorrow we expose its full dossier, reveal the cleaner substitute you already have in your cupboard, and show how 2 weeks without it can shave measurable points off morning pressure readings. Miss that drop, and you might never know why the treadmill feels tougher each month. Catch it, and your arteries get a new lease on elasticity. So check that shelf, circle the code name, meet me back here. We're just getting started.